we're going to talk about these zoom out buttons. At least these first two. Zoom out 2 times, zoom out 1.5 times. We're going to leave custom zoom for later because it's a little more advanced. You can actually zoom out of an image and rewrite the prompt at the same time using custom zoom. So we will learn that, but I'm just going to start with these two because they're simpler. So by clicking a zoom out button, which is only available once we have upscaled an image, once we've upscaled it, we can zoom out of the image. What that will do is not actually increase the resolution or the size of the image, but will regenerate images that are zoomed out based on the initial composition and reveal more stuff that might be outside the bounds of this composition. So it is not increasing the size, just don't have that misconception. It's not making the image bigger. It is simply changing the composition. So let's go with one of these ostriches. I already upscaled this one, so let's zoom out from this. I have 2 choices, 1.5 times zoom or double zoom. Let's do both. So I'll start with 1.5 times and then zoom out 2 times. And by the way, if you use custom zoom, you can change that number. You could do a 1.2 zoom, you could do a 1.8, but the maximum zoom currently is 2 times. All right, so we can see these are already starting and we have more of the image showing. This is 1.5 and this is our 2 times zoom down here. And you can already tell just from their little previews that this is zoomed out further, right? We see more of the ostrich, the full neck. We see more sky, more trees on the right and the left, more ground. This is kind of a simple one to zoom out of. It's just increasing the background. But if I did a more complex prompt, maybe a, I don't know, isometric cyberpunk cityscape at night, neon colors. I just want to have more stuff happening. You'll see that you can get some pretty interesting results. And then once we cover custom zoom, again, that's coming later, we can do some really interesting things where you can completely rechange the composition. I could frame this in a picture on a living room wall, and then I could take that living room wall and zoom out further and have that actually be on a, I don't know, a computer display. So we can do all sorts of fun things. Here's our initial image. Very tight. I think it's the strongest still. I think the composition's better. But then I zoom out. Here's our 1.5 times zoom out. And here is our double zoom. Okay. And I could keep going. If I upscale one of them, I could then select zoom on one of them and keep going. Let's take one of these images though, maybe this one here. So this is my isometric cyberpunk cityscape at night. I'll isolate this one. What number is that? 1, 2, 3, so upscale 3. And it should go quick. Now I'll zoom out double. And hopefully it completes more of this image. We see more cityscape, more buildings, maybe the road keeps going, who knows, but we should see more stuff. And then I can keep going. By the way, you can actually see the process here where there's the initial image kind of showing up as that square, and then things around it are being painted in as the image is generated. All right, so here is my zoomed out image and it zooms way out as you can see. Let's pick one of these to upscale, maybe this one, upscale 1. And here we are. There's our zoomed out image. So this road was continued, the buildings were continued. This thing is brand new right here. This is all new. Let's zoom out one more time. I'll do double zoom again just to get the biggest increase. And watch again. I won't make you watch the whole process of generating it, but watch as we see the initial image, the seed image, start in the middle of the composition. There it is. You can see the original image, and then a bunch of blank space that's slowly being generated around it. All right, that finished up. One thing I've noticed is that the zoom grids sometimes look lower quality than the actual images are. It all looks kind of fuzzy and blurry, but if I isolate one of them, let's take 4, so I'll upscale 4, you'll see that it actually is pretty high quality. There we are. Okay, so let me do a comparison real quick. I'll throw all 3 of our zooms onto a slide. Okay, so here's the 3 different versions of this original image I upscaled. We zoomed out a bit, this road's extended, there's more buildings, and then I did it again, right? And so this whole composition here is now contained somewhere in the middle of this image, and we get a bunch of other stuff generated. So it just helps, I think, to see all 3 of them side by side. And I did the most extreme zoom. double 2x zoom, but remember we have the 1.5x zoom button and the custom zoom button that we have yet to discuss. Oh, and one thing I forgot to mention that probably isn't that important for most of you, but if you try to use earlier versions of MidJourney, you won't have that zoom functionality. Here's my image from V4, happiest cat on the planet, V4 that I upscaled, no zoom buttons available. With our V5 and beyond images that I've upscaled, I have zoom out 2, zoom out 1.5, and custom zoom. This is a new feature and generally just speaks to the differences between versions. Compare what happens with V5 even. For variations, we have one button, as we've already learned. Compare that to V5.2, where we have two buttons, very strong and very subtle. All right, so you can't zoom out with earlier versions. Use 5 and beyond.